When I hear the phrase American Dream, it feels like shackles to me. My parents had a big house, went to college and got jobs, and when it was time for me, I went to college and I got a job and I bought a house, and I was just doing the stuff that I had seen. But I didn't like it, I wasn't happy. I had a 5-bedroom home in Minnesota. It was over 2,000 square feet. There was all this unused space, and it frustrated me, and I had to buy furniture to fill up the unused space so I didn't seem weird. Having been born there, I didn't really know that life could be any different. I'd been planning to move somewhere warm, but I didn't really know where, and I didn't really know when. I just stayed doing what I was doing until one day I got laid off. And I was like, why do I have to wait until I'm old to go somewhere warm? So I figured I would check out the Southwest. I definitely wanted to have fewer things and see how far I could take my downsizing. This house that I live in now is very small, tiny, most people would call it, and it's approximately 180 square feet if you just measure the width and the length. But if you count the king-size loft and the queen-size loft as usable square footage, it goes up to 257. But you can't stand up there, so a lot of people just consider this 180 square feet, which is less than 1/10 the space that I had in Minnesota. When the building company let me know that the house was about ready to be finished and delivered, I was like, well, I need to find a parking spot. Where am I going to put this thing? So I went to some RV parks, and they wanted to see a picture of what I was talking about. And they'd be like, well, that looks like a tiny house. And I'm like, yeah, it's a tiny house. And they're like, no, but this is an RV park. And I'm like, I know. And they're like, well, that's a tiny house. You should go to a mobile home park. So I started going to mobile home parks. I show them pictures, and they're like, well, that looks like a tiny house. And I'm like, yeah, it's a tiny house. And they're like, well, this is a mobile home park. And I'm like, yeah, I know. House, home, similarity. I can live in this thing. And they're like, well, it's too tiny. You should maybe go to an RV park. So I was just in this purgatory of, I want to put my house somewhere, but no one will take my money. It was a really freeing feeling to not have so much stuff, so many things weighing me down. Now I can do whatever I want because it's really cheap for me to live. My electric bills overall averaged about $20 a month. It's a little higher in the summer, but I don't think I've ever had an electric bill more than $40, and that's with the AC running a lot. As a cinematographer, I spend a lot of time getting paid to make other people's movies, but I have my own movie ideas too. And if I had a giant house and a giant mortgage, I would be really limited on what I could do. I wanted to make a movie, a full-length feature film, that was inspired by the actual hoops I had to jump through to set up a tiny home. But instead of it being another reality show or a documentary, I wanted it to be a romantic comedy. So I came up with these characters and these story that's very loosely inspired by real people I've met along the way. All right,
okay.
Are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
How do you stay close to me?
1B, take one.
Action!
We're going to be doing the majority of the movie over the summer, and then I hope to have it done by the end of the year. I'll have you be like 2-shot, medium-ish. When people hear that I live in a tiny house, they have usually one of two reactions.
And then that's when I see it.
They either are super excited But there are also a lot of people who I'll meet and they're like, why? Like, how can you? Like, why would you do this? What's wrong with you? I feel so much happier and healthier, and in Tucson, you have mountain ranges in every direction. And I decided to climb all of them. When I'm on the top of a mountain and I'm looking down at the basin and I see the city and the other mountain ranges, I just have this sense of awe. And then when I come back to my tiny home, I don't feel claustrophobic because I just had this experience of being this tiny thing in this huge world. Really, losing my job was what gave me the kick that I needed to take the plunge and see how far I could take my downsizing. And I'm really glad that it happened, because changing my lifestyle and coming to Tucson has been the best thing for me.